We have the final patch for set 13, 13.8. Let's take a look at the highlights because I heard this is going to be the craziest patch we've had the entire set, which is normally what they do at the end of sets, but we have buffs to Conquer, Automata, Black Rose, Emissary, Experiment, Firelight, Aurelia, Powder, Set, Kog'Maw, Mbessa, Savika, Twitch, Jinx, and Victor. Next, they're nerfing Pit Fighters and Smeech and adjusting the encounter percentage to have a higher chance for fun encounters. Lastly, they're going to be reworking Powder's Hero Augment, Mel, Form Swapper, and Anomalies. Let's see what the changes are. We'll be coming out with a meta snapshot on Friday as per usual, but if you haven't heard yet, Cyber City is the next set around the corner. It's going to be out in 2 weeks. If you want more information, I do have a video covering everything around that. But let's get into the system changes for this patch. Anomalies. On 5.5, a second anomaly round appears in standard and double up. Champions can only have one anomaly. Infectious anomaly has been disabled. So you can get 2 anomalies now, which means you probably want one on your primary DPS and primary tank. That's probably going to work out really, really well, but that should add some new dimensions to the game that we haven't really seen before. 6 cost plus 1% odds starting in 6-1, so we're going to have a lot more 6 costs in the game. Encounters, make sure our last games are memorable ones. No encounter removed. Wind Up Monkey, 4% up, Scuttle Puddle, 2.5, Triple Prismatic, 1%, Wandering Trainer, 1%, and Loot Subscription, 0.5%. So if you ever wanted to make a crazy game in TFT, this is the patch to kind of play for that. Let's go into the large changes now. Let's start off with the augments. Powder's Champion Augment has been re-enabled. Wait, I didn't even realize it was disabled. Thinking about it, I have not seen it in a long time now that it's mentioned, but I completely forgot this even happened. It has been renamed to This Will Work. Powder's ability blast radius increased from 4 to 5, and ability damage is going to be increased across the board, and another anomaly has been disabled, so you can't get like 3 anomalies, I guess, or I guess it would double up, you'd get 4 of them. That'd be a little OP. Traits, we're giving Conquer another boost to ensure it's stable enough in the mid game to carry you into that late game win. Sometimes Form Swapper 2 is too little and 4 is too much, so why not 3? That is true. It made it very hit or miss, so all the 4 Form Swapper builds should probably be a bit better, but let's see what they changed first. Automata base damage. This one's going to be buffed up at 4 and 6 Automata. I expect a bunch of Kog'Maws to kind of come back into play because he was really the champion that made use of this the best. Black Rose, Scion, AD per star level increase. Shouldn't change too much. Conquer base AD and AP is going to be increased at 6 Conquer by a decent amount. They buffed Conquer a lot. I think 6 Conquer was fine in the last patch, but this makes it just even better. Expected to be played quite often. I think they want to add this buff so it's more fun, so you could go for those like really, really big cash outs with like a super stacked Conquer build. Emissary Nami bonus mana up by 1, pretty big. Experiment HP going to be buffed up by 150 at 5 and 7 Experiment. Firelight healing percent going to be buffed up across the board. Yeah, Kog'Maw definitely is back. He's probably going to be one of the better champs because Automata buff and Firelight buffed. Firelight are the main tanks of the Kog'Maw comp. Form Swapper 3 added 22% DR and 33% damage amp, so it's going to be much easier to get to 4 Form Swapper, which means that running this build probably going to be a lot better now. I think it's probably going to be one of the best builds because 4 Form Swapper already great. It's just hard to get there, and now you have a way to get there. Pit Fighters 8 true damage is going to be nerfed by 10%. Yeah, the super high Pit Fighter builds, mainly it was done with the family build into a Pit Fighter, but some people skipped the family and went straight to the Pit Fighters. Pretty strong stuff. I don't know why they nerfed it because it's the last patch, like who cares? But apparently it is enough to kind of tone down a little bit. 1 cost units, Aurelia damage reflect percent, 30% to 75. Wait, what? I honestly didn't even know she reflected stuff. I thought she's just like a garbage tank unit that you use because she's a rebel and a sentinel, and you always run Alawi as a main sentinel. And she's also a rebel, so that's why you played Aurelia. Powder mana gonna be buffed up by actually quite a bit. She's gonna cast a ton now. And Powder's monkeys are now larger in size. 2 cost units, Set is now also a Pit Fighter. Okay, so that's why they're nerfing the Pit Fighters, because they added it to Set. So Set's gonna be a 3 trait unit. Was a Bruiser, Rebel, and now Pit Fighter, and his ability damage is going to be buffed up, so you could actually get like a huge set with both Pit Fighter and Bruiser. He might be able to get like the most value out of max health. Like, I don't see him dying with like a 4 Bruiser, 6 Pit Fighter build or something like that. I don't know if he could kill stuff, but he definitely will not die because he's just going to have a percent max health heal, percent max health in general from being a Bruiser, and yeah, like probably should be very unkillable. 3 cost units, Kog'Maw attack. Okay, yeah. If it's not a Kog'Maw meta now, I don't know when it will be, because he just got buffed in 3 different ways. This is going to be a huge buff as well, because that 0.05 means a lot for him because he attacks so often. Smeech 800 to 777, a slight nerf there. 4 cost Mbessa mana is being buffed up by a ton. Holy cow. AD being buffed up by a little bit, and then Twitch AD up by 1. Yeah, sure, whatever. Twitch was fine, like not OP, not horrible. Yeah, sure, 1 AD, what's the harm in that? We're further tweaking Jinx slightly to make sure her ult goes off without a hitch. Mana is dropped by, wow, 10. That's pretty big. What you really want is for Jinx to cast 3 times, so it's actually a 180 to 150 mana buff instead of like a 60 to 50, if that makes any sense. I mean, it is a 60 to 50, but you really care about the 180 cast being dropped down to 150. That means she needs 3 less auto attacks to get her ability off. Savika, 1200 to 1277 HP, who really cares about that? Anomalies are kind of overwhelming. MR to AB is going to be converted 30% to 50%. Avalanche of armor 70 to 99. I haven't seen many people taking the only armor or only magic resist anomalies too much. Obviously it is taken here and there, but they haven't seen as much love as like the flat HP ones. Berserker's Rage HP threshold 70 to 85. Defense Expert percent gain 90 to 110. Eagle Eye AD per second 6 to 9%. Heavy hitter cooldown 2.5 to 1.5, hunger for power 66 to 75. Into the Unknown is buffed. Laser Eyes AP damage 133 to 175. Share your energy share percent 15 to 12. Slime Time AP ratio 160 to 200%. I think Slime Time's so fun. I don't know why. Out of all these anomalies that we've went through so far, I think that one is kind of the most fun one to kind of try out. Touch of Frost, stun duration 1.5 to wait, 2.5? Holy cow. All right, Malzahar is going to be completely bonkers in this. Automata buffs, and then this. This on Malzahar is just like completely disgusting. And then lastly, we have Infectious Anomaly disabled. Now let's get into the small changes. Small, like these changes. Wait, does that flavor text even make sense? I don't know. Traits, Academy added new item list, Thieves Gloves, Thieves Gloves, Thieves Gloves. All right, that's pretty funny. I wonder how this would have changed the trait if it was an item from the start. That would actually have been pretty cool. Hopefully they try something like this out for the entire set for an item trait in the future, because I think that would be pretty fun. Bug fixes, only one of them, really? Majestic Empress Soul Shackles boom no longer has 4 black triangles appearing on the boom during the charging phase. I guess it makes sense that they're not fixing bugs because the set's about to end, so there's just going to be a change that fixes every bug that ever existed. But there are quite a few of them. I know one bug cost someone like a really important tournament a few weeks ago. I forget the exact details, but it is what it is. Out of the comps I'm most excited in trying out when the new patch hits is got to be the Kog'Maw comp. Like, it got buffed way too many times. Like, if you're not playing Kog'Maw after this patch, like, I don't know when you would ever play Kog'Maw, because he's just super buffed. Should be very strong to try out. Again, Meta Snapshot is going to be coming out as per usual, and then we'll focus on set 14 after that. But let me know down in the comments, like, what are you looking forward to the most with the double anomaly? What combos are you going to try out? Remember, you cannot put them on the same champion. You have to use it on different units. But let me know what type of cool combos you can think of down below, and let me know if you're actually able to get that combo, because that's the most important thing too. But that's going to be it for me today. Hopefully you all enjoyed this, and I'll see you all next time.